Yo, it's Ben. Today I'm making a little tier list on who I think needs a rework in Overwatch. Let's get right to it. Tracer's fine. Reaper's fine. Widowmaker could probably use some changes. I think she is very problematic currently in Season 13, but, you know, not like needing a rework, but she has some problem areas I think could be worked on. Aura recently in Overwatch 2 received a rework is fine. Reinhardt is fine. Mercy is fine. Torb is fine, honestly. I feel like he's just kind of always in this spot where he's like an off-meta pick, and that's okay. Hanzo and Monkey are fine. Zenyatta's fine. I think Bastion needs a rework. His turret form right now feels really terrible to play and to play against. Him getting rid of his old ult was a humongous mistake by the Overwatch dev team. It was very, very fun to use. I know they were trying to move away from one-shots, but I mean, like, there are ways to have tank mode Bastion be a usable ultimate without, you know, one-shotting for sure. Like just maybe lowering the amount of damage it does on a direct hit, but making him shoot faster, stuff like that. Not going to talk about that much anymore. I think Bastion needs a rework. Symmetra as well is weird, you know, like Bastion and Sim are both weird characters. I personally don't think Symmetra is fun to play or fun to play against, like I said with Bastion, and that is just very indicative that a character needs a rework. These characters are very strange. They're not like any other character in the game. Some people, you know, that's the reason they like them. That's the reason that they play them. But for me, no. Like it's just like from a competitive standpoint, like these characters are weird. That's why they need to be reworked. Sorry is fine. Cass is fine. Soldier's fine. Lucio is fine. I think Roadhog is in the meh category. He feels like he's just bad, you know? Like I think Roadhog is bad and there's no way to make him good or, you know, playable without buffing his numbers. And then at that point people are just going to complain about hook one shot and just him being overtuned. Junkrat is not going to go into meh, but he's probably the closest to it. I think Junk is fine. They don't have one shot anymore, which is like whatever. Um, I personally think that Junkrat's one shot would be totally fine to have in the game, like that being primary fire plus concussion mine, instantly killing a 250 HP target. I think that's fine to have in the game, but I think to have that in the game, they would have to reduce his mine counter to 1 to nerf his mobility and the amount of times that he can one shot people with full cooldowns. D.Va is good. I mean, no reason to rework this character. They could probably, you know, make her not able to micro missile during Matrix, but I mean, that's just me nitpicking. Mei, shockingly, is fine. Genji is fine. Ana's fine. The recent Sim, or not Sim, Sombra rework is terrible. They need to rework her again. This character, like I said, for both of these other ones that need a rework, sucks to play as and against right now. Unless you're one-tricking Sombra, like, I'm not seeing a lot of people in my ranked games that are playing this character unless they're a one-trick. Needs a rework. Ursa's fine. Doomfist is fine. Moira is like at the front of this list. I could ramble for hours about how stupid this character is and how useless it is to have a Moira on your team. You know, Moira one tricks. Come at me in the comments of this video. This character desperately needs a rework. Just the most disgusting design atrocity in this entire game, besides one little furry creature that we're going to get to later. Brig is fine, and we're already here on Wrecking Ball. I'm gonna put Wrecking Ball behind Moira because I think like less needs to be done to Wrecking Ball to rework the character. But like Wrecking Ball is one of those characters where like I think Wrecking Ball is very fun to play, but it's not fun to play with on your team, and it's not fun to play against. I feel like Wrecking Ball is the character that like takes over lobbies the most. Playing versus Wrecking Ball, like you're asking your DPS players to go Sombra. You're asking your DPS players to go Cass. You yourself as a tank player might go Roadhog, or you yourself as a support player might go, you know, I don't even know what support can even do anything to Wrecking Ball. I guess Brig is like the closest thing. Ana could sleep him. Zenyatta Discord certainly helps. Lucio Boop might help, but like you cannot do much as a support to do anything about a Wrecking Ball. At least not to my knowledge. That might be a gap in my understanding of the game, but I think like Wrecking Ball and Moira are like in a tier of their own, like must get reworked. Ashe is fine. Baptiste is fine. Sigma is fine. Echo is fine. I wish Sojourn still had her one-shot headshot, but she is fine. Junker Queen is fine. Kiriko could use nerfs still. I think like another example of very problematic character design. Kiriko is just too consistent in all ways, in my opinion. She's like impossible to make bad as well with her kit. Could use a rework. Ramatra, I don't know anything about this character. Nobody plays Ramatra, and when they do, it's like, whatever. Lifeweaver, rework this character. Like, I don't think I need to say more. Like, he's pretty much a throw pick, no matter the situation. He synergizes very well with Mauga, which we'll get to. Um, in the way that like Mauga can just like run in and Lifeweaver can just pull him out. Uh, Alari is just like weird, but fine. I don't think the character is like too problematic. Mauga is like a meh for me. They need to like all they need to do to make Mauga better, in my opinion, is just lower the amount of armor he has. He's too hard to burst down. That's like the only counterplay you really have without, changing your entire team comp to counter him. Like you can go Mauga yourself. That doesn't really solve the problem. You can go Ana, but if they're playing Mauga, they should also have a Kiriko. Those two characters are very good together. Yeah, I'm not gonna say much more. Venture is fine. Juno is like still overtuned in my opinion. Uh, but yeah, she's fine. Like they could probably make Juno a little bit worse. I don't think anyone would complain. She's like the like sole pillar of the meta currently. Like pretty much every comp you see in pro play. It's just people trying to pick characters that are good to play with Juno. And I'll talk about Hazard. I mean, I only got to play like 10 games on the character, but most of the time I spent playing like the quick play test was on other tanks into Hazard because that's what I really was curious about. Like I got my games in on the character. I was like, okay, this is fun. How easy is he to counterplay? Does he feel like too strong? Yes, he feels strong, but like he's easy to take advantage of for sure. I feel like he is a very committal tank. He doesn't have a lot that feels like horrible to play against. I did get one shot a few times on Tracer and Widowmaker whenever I was playing this playtest. Like he just appeared out of nowhere, like wall climbed up into my face and just instantaneously killed me. But I mean, it's really no different playing versus like a diva as Widow. If she gets that close, like you're dead anyways. Any tank, like really trying to kill Tracer or Widowmaker, like if they're a good player, if they're hitting their shots and abilities, like you're gonna get fried anyway. But yeah, I think Hazard is like probably their best designed character that they've put out so far. Like he's fun and he's not like horrible to play against, so it's fine. The damage block thing, like I personally, like this is a personal opinion of mine playing this game since launch. I do not like it whenever a tank can stand in my face. I cannot kill them as a damage. Like I mainly play DPS. Like if I don't have even like much of a chance to kill them and they can do damage to me, like it feels very very shitty. Which is why I say D.Va should not be able to shoot micro missiles while she matrixes. It is like not like a super game breaking thing to be able to do, but it feels very bad to play against, and the character would not suffer that much if you made it so that she did not have micro missiles during DM. I think micro missiles during primary fire is totally fine. Having that way to like fly in and burst down a single or a group of targets actually is like totally okay. Doomfist cannot, deal damage while he blocks. Zarya can, but she's like a special case. I feel like Zarya bubble is like easy enough to break if she's like a bad player and she's like allowing herself to be killed because her bubble gets broken. Like, it's a skill issue at that point. Like I think Zarya's is fine because it's easy to get through. Like you yourself as a DPS in a 1v1 with Zarya, like can break her bubble and kill her if she plays poorly. So like that's totally okay. And then like shield characters are obviously like an exception, but like like Reinhardt can't swing while he's shielding. He can't fire strike while he's shielding. Monkey can like, dance around his bubble and Sigma can dance around his barrier, but shields are a little different. Um yeah, and that's my takes on what characters should get reworked and why. Leave your feedback in the comments. I am excited to see what people have to think about my opinions. I think they are a little, out there. Some people who might main these characters I'm talking about in the top row. I want to hear what you have to think about me saying that your character is poorly designed. So yeah,